Hello guys, it's Yannick. Um, so I just had a debate with someone actually on Facebook, which will not name. However, basically it does happen quite often. Each time I talk to people about cyclists and how cyclists are hated and they hate them passionately. All drivers hate them. They want to hate them. It's just like, oh well, I'm so sorry, but I hate them because well, they just cut off people. I hear that often. Um, they don't pay insurance. I hear that too. Um, so basically, drivers feel injustice for having cyclists on the road, and they believe that cyclists don't shouldn't be allowed on the road. So that's their stand-up point, basically, and they want to stick to it. There's not much that they can do, and they're like cyclists should go on the curb. So that's an argument I hear a lot too. I've been stopped by the police for riding my bike on the curb. I've been searched with police officers with weapons. Yeah, feels great. And that happened. I've had this, all these interactions as being a cyclist. So I've been personally attacked by drivers. I've been assaulted by drivers. I've been pushed off by cars. I've been drove off by trucks and vans, by pickup trucks, even by official pickup trucks that are basically their official license plate with the Canadian Leaf logo on it, so you can't even tell who they are. They're like magical beings that push me off to the side of the road at Woodbine and Danforth. I got pushed off to the curb onto a post. Yeah, that feels really freaking good when you come back from work and you're just like, oh wow, that's so amazing. Yeah, I feel so good now. I just got a post right in my face, right? So that's amazing, right? It's just so gracious. And I mean, I can't complain, right? That's what they tell me all the time, you can't complain, and that's the thing. So, first of all, for insurance, well, my bicycle costs $500, works perfectly, has brakes that can brake within a few meters at very high speed, compared to cars that will actually slide more because my tires also have a higher pressure psi. They're at 120 psi, sometimes 115, sometimes 110. If I'm lazy, they're going to be at 105. So they are really, and also ride fixed gear with brakes and with a helmet. So I've been very lucky for all these years. I've landed front flips from a bike because a cab decided to pull off to the side at the last minute without prioritizing oncoming traffic, thinking that cyclists don't have no priority because they hate them with a passion. And I hear that each time I go into a cab and they're like, oh, look at the cyclist. Oh, how can they do this? How can they do that? I've also been pushed by a cab driver that's recently got caught in the media about a year ago for riding on somebody's leg. And then finally somebody took a video of it and he got stopped. So thank God, because he was laughing really loudly when he did it. And another time I got pushed into a car by another cab driver. And when I chased the car because I wanted to get his license plate, and I've already called the police on several times on these events, and they've never done anything. Nothing. I've got assaulted, and I had a black eye that was about this big once by these two people. One that was wearing a fedora hat, so you know where they come from, and another guy that looked a lot like a very famous UFC fighter that I will not give the name to. And he basically disfigured me, so I stayed a month without work. Nobody paid for that, and the guy didn't get caught, but the police had a file on him. Anyhow, Long story short, I basically got back to the station, and they gave me the file number, which I lost over the years because I saw that I was completely hopeless to look after these incidents. So I went on with my life, and nobody really cared for me. I mean, I was just a young teen. I looked like nothing to people because I didn't have no money. I'm not from Forest Hill, nowhere rich. I don't have the Drake lifestyle, um, and love the smooth voice, anyways. So that's the thing. So I was basically, I've been in so many accidents. I can count them by the hundreds. I have stories that just are beyond. My mind is just filled with stories. It's just filled with people that try to sometimes kill me on purpose, and psychopath of the road. Which is funny because um, it's anyway. There's bike and path, but anyway, in it, but it's pretty intensive. So I'm a cyclist because I live close to downtown Toronto. I'm about 20 minutes by the limits of Scarborough. It is not too far for me. And I pass basically a lot of the times, on the main streets there. There's no cycling lane, so I've had drivers that literally tell me, "Get off the road. Cyclists are not for the road," and then they push me with their car. That kind of attitude. Really, really nice people. So I've had all kinds of people from every background. Um, I mean, humans, right? And so basically, it's been nonstop, and recently I've had a friend of a friend who passed away on King Street West. He got run over by a car. Rest in peace. And I also have friends that's been in terrible accidents, really close friends, recently, and it's been ongoing. So I've got hit by a car for signaling that I was going around a car, and then I got stopped. I got stopped. I actually called the cops because this car drove off after hitting my hand really, really hard. And then the cop told me that I was signaling for turning wrongly on the lane. So basically, that I was at fault when I was severely injured, and I couldn't work for about a month again. And he said, "You can bring this to court, blah blah blah." But the thing is that you gotta have $5,000 worth of damage on your body, not on your car. So this is where it gets a little bit tough for a lot of people. And I'm just getting flashbacks in my mind as we speak of all the different people that try to assault me. Literally get out of their cars, big guys, usually the biggest guys. They come out and they're like, "Oh, I'm buff, I got a pickup truck and I'm gonna kill you," and they literally use these words, which is very, very nice, of people that work for the government, which is really sad, really, because it brings a lot of hope down, and I don't even know where I fit in anymore. I'm just, I don't know, and made this video, and my friends are like, "Oh, just try not to get emotional, don't get too worked by it. It's really hard, when you suffer from a post-traumatic syndrome, and every time you go outside, you think, I'm gonna die, maybe, just because it is really tough, out there." And a way to support ecology, or to get from point A to point B, and you don't always have $12 a day just to get around downtown. um, and you just gotta go for like a soon we're gonna have the 2 hours actually transfer, which is gonna be really, really good, because when you just have to do a little bit of quick shopping in one neighborhood, and it's just like, wow, really, like the TTC's gone really expensive, just like the rent. Anyway, I can't complain, nobody listens, right? But the thing is that now with bicycle lanes, a lot of drivers feel affected by it. Even though a cyclist takes about 5 times less space than a car on the road, right? And also consumes zero gas, literally. And also it can actually, provide a very fast way to get around, It makes traffic much faster, especially if there's bike lanes, because then the cars go to one way, and then all the cyclists that just needs to go from point A to point B. Okay, they don't have to go on the other side of the country. Don't get me wrong. If you live outside in the countryside, yeah, you need a car. I hear you. I've been to the countryside. I know. Okay, I've been in a freaking blizzard, and I've had my toenails freaking turn blue and black. Okay, because there was no buses, and I didn't have a car, and I suffered enough walking my way home, and I had no money, right, for a cab, because there was no cabs, and I had no phone. So I know it fucking hurts. I'm sorry, pardon for the term. Anyways, so the thing is, it is very difficult to speak to people, because they believe that it's like a car and bike thing. No, it's not like that. I have friends that are drivers that drive me around sometimes, and I'm really grateful for them, and they drive their friends and family around. They share their vehicle with other people that they care for, and they have a big heart. And I believe that people with a big heart, exist on this planet. Thank God, it's not fully hopeless. Yes, that's the message. So there is good people out there, and there is good drivers that are careful. But the thing is that when you hear, and I'm a cyclist, and I say, well, I'm a cyclist. I ride. When I have to do a job, and then they tell me, oh wow, so oh yeah, but I can't understand cyclists. They cut me off, and like I could hit them. So I'm so worried for them. That's one thing I hear, which is the nicest thing I can hear. And then it's like, yeah, I hear you, okay, and that's the thing. Like, I just stay to the side of my roads, and then there is cyclists, that will burn some lights, but it is not us all cyclists, and we cannot generalize. And it's not all drivers that act this way either. And we are drivers of the road, and yes, we do have to act in a very civil way. When your life is threatened, although it is very hard to act in a very civil way. Unless you're trained like a military soldier, it is really, really hard to act in a civil way. And I've been assaulted by militaries on the street, actually, for being pushed off to the road and overreacting. And this military man sent me to the hospital. Apparently he was a military. That's what I heard. Rumors of the streets from here and says. And that's it. So I mean, where does the line draws itself? It's pretty hard to tell, right? So build bike lanes. I've been saying this so many times. I've been mumbling this so many times. I feel like, we all have a road. We can all share it. And then if there is more cyclists in the summer and in the winter, I've done it. But the thing is that now I know how far the accidents can get. I've seen people's legs being cut in half. I've seen people's brain being splatters on screen of windshield, sorry. I've seen a lot of different things happening. I've seen people flying off. I've seen a guy flying 5 meters, and I heard his skull fall down on the floor, okay, which is so traumatic. And this is just happening in downtown Toronto, Danforth, Queen Street, King Street, and you just see that every day, right? And then you'll have car drivers that are complaining about cyclists because they have to pay insurance because their car is worth $100,000. Well, you paid $100,000 for it. I paid $500 for it. Okay? And the thing is, I don't have to pay insurance, I believe, because I'm not too worried about my $500 bicycle. Yes, it is a $500 bicycle. Why I went down to $500 is because of the amount of bike thief in the city too, right? And which a few ones I've caught, and poor guys, just driving pickup trucks and just picking up everything on the way, right? But the police apparently doesn't do anything about that. And I've been in some bike accidents where like this person assaulted me once. Amazing. Can you imagine you're biking and then this person pushes you onto a parked car with a pickup truck that's about 20 times the size of yourself, more like than you and your bicycle, basically, right? And like a full box of you and your bicycle, right? Oh, at least that's what they wanted to put me in, right? Which I didn't let that happen, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna let that happen. No, 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 because I want to live, right? And I have the right to, okay? So you're not gonna take that away from me, okay? And you can hate me all you want, but that is fine because anyway, this big bodybuilder, right, spits at my face and goes, "Get off the road!" Boom, pushes me to the side of a car, right? And then I'm like, "What the beep are you doing? How the beep can you do that? What the beep do you think you are?" And then basically he gets out and he's like, "You beep with me? You beep with me?" And he gets out and he's got gigantic muscle. He's okay. Just to tell you, I'm like 180. I'm very fit, athletic, up to 90, and I love sports, and I'm very athletic. I'm a triathlon athlete. Well, I'm not a real one. I'm a fake one, I guess, because I do the three sports but separately, because I just don't have time for that, or the money. Anyhow, and then and then that's basically it. So I was out there, and then this guy like brings out his fist and then goes in boxing stance and is like, "You want me to flatten your face out so you learn?" And then I literally took my bike, after a few seconds, left it to the side of the curb, started running, and the guy drove away. Okay, after the guy drove away, you know, I got his license plate, right? So I got his license plate. As he drives away, I'm like rushing, boom, who's the license plate? Bam, I go, there's like a construction site. I go to the cop, because I don't have a phone, I wasn't that rich, Now, ooh, I have a phone. Yeah, I can make videos. Ooh la la. And then that's it, So this person drives off. I talk to the cop and I'm like, "Officer, please, I just got like I'm slightly like smiling because this is absurd. This is absurd that it's happening, and like nobody did nothing. Everybody just looked at me like, oh, this guy is gonna do it. Give it to him, right? I don't like cyclists, blah blah blah, right? And then nobody did nothing, obviously, No